Hey y'all, Ramdino here, coming at you again for Appalachian Trail news, through hiker updates, and just general things going on with the trail. If you've come here to help me build the hiker community and support the through hikers, you have come to the right place. So we have got a lot of news going on out there. Just things are hopping on the trail, and they're gonna get really ramped up here this upcoming week. So we still got some 2020 folks out there. Frosty the Snowbow, he is Sobo from New Hampshire, and he is somewhere around the Glasgow area. He says that the weather has been pretty tough. He's had 6 to 8 inches of snow on the trail, and that's slowed him down. So he's pretty much just been going shelter to shelter. But he is continuing on his Sobo trip down to Springer. And then Matt Mayo and Nat Geo, they have left the Franklin area, and they have somewhere around 120 miles left on their 2020 Sobo track. And then our final folks that we have been tracking, Crash Bash and Whole Foods, they are done. That's right. They summited at Springer. That was awesome to get their pictures of them doing that. And so I greatly appreciate that and letting them know. And congratulations on that. That is always just a really neat thing. Just a great track, particularly this time of year when they've had to battle so much bad weather we have just had over the past really couple months, and especially the past month, just some really wet and snowy and cold weather. So congratulations to them. We've had a lot of starts this week for the 2021 crowd. So the Blazing Bakers, they got started early, and they had actually moved their start date up a few days. So they are on trail now. And they are also bringing Noon's tag with them like they were doing last year. So last year they started and had to get off because of the pandemic. And so now they're back on. They are completely starting all over again at Springer, bringing Noon's tag. Noon, you will, lots of you may remember, is a hiker that started his Nobo journey and died on the approach trail before he made it to Springer. The tag was given to the Blazing Bakers, and they were gracious enough to say that they would take that all the way for Noon's family and take his essence with them all the way to Katahdin. So looking forward to that. There's also a website. You can track that of family and friends on Noon's progress. Of course, that'll be the same as the Blazing Bakers, but we appreciate them doing that. Hugh Jacks, he got on trail, and he should be somewhere around Neal's Gap this weekend. Connor Mahoney, he has made it to Neal's, and he came across Lufa and Tramp Stamp early this week, and he should be moving on towards Dix Creek Gap here today or within a very short period of time. Scatterbrain got started at Springer and was number 98 on the registration check-in log down at Amicalola Falls State Park. So that was yesterday. And I have seen today where there have been other people that have registered. So we are over 100 folks now that are on that registration log down there. If you are a through hiker, I would greatly appreciate you taking a picture of that registration log and sending it to me. I'm not interested in the addresses. I'll block those out, but I am interested in how many folks are started, what the number are, and I'm really interested in the pack weights. Would like to let other people know what type of pack weights people are carrying. Folks that we've got already on the trail, we've been tracking Crusoe and Night Train. They made it to Winding Stair Gap, and they are in the Franklin area, and by now they are on their way to the Knock. Crusoe said that all is going good, and they're not really running into a lot of through hikers. Scooter, Ice Bear, Quicksand, and Smokin' Joe, they are in the Smokies, and they have completed the southern section, taking a 0 at Gatlinburg. Newfound Gap is open, but they said the going was tough. They were breaking a lot of trails. Some of the drifts were over 3 feet high, post hole in a lot of the way, and Quicksand said that was by far the toughest hike he has ever done, hands down. And that's saying a lot from Quicksand because this is his third through hike on the Appalachian Trail. So that's just brutal when you're up there in that deep snow, no doubt about it. It's bad enough. The deepest I've hiked in is about 8 inches, and you slow down for every step you take forward, you take 2 steps back, and just really tough on your muscles, using different muscles and different muscle groups. And so I can't imagine doing that. I think they started on Tuesday, and they just got the Newfound Gap yesterday, which was Saturday. So a lot of people do the entire Smokies in 5 to 6 days, and it's taken them that long just to do half of it. So Fortunately, that probably will be the toughest half because that most of that is uphill coming out of Fontana. And once their newfound gap, they still got a few uphills, of course. You're never going to be completely downhill, but there's more downhill going down toward Davenport Gap. Zombie, he is at around the Bears Den hostel area up in Virginia. He skipped ahead from Dix Creek Gap and will come back and finish that area later. Miguel Santiago and Nadia, they made it to Neil's Gap and they came across Patches and Spotter, and they stayed in the cabin that Spotter had rented. So we appreciate Spotter helping them, giving them a little bit of trail magic with that. And they are going to be moving on to Dix Creek Gap. Lufa, she made it to Neil's Gap, and we'll be moving on to Dix Creek Gap. Not so much, and not today. They are in the Franklin area, and they are on their way to the Knock by now. Mr. Freeze, he's somewhere around the Knock, and he ran into Mayo and Nat Geo on their Sobo trip. So that's kind of neat. I always like to see the Sobos run into the Nobos, and the Nobos run into the Sobos, or the Sobos run into the Nobos. That's just pretty neat to see them meet on the trail and just kind of hang out for a little bit and continue on their way. Just a Farmer, he is made it to Irwin after skipping the Smokies. He's come back to the Smokies, got him a ride, and so he is going to be trying to tackle the Smokies. Happy, he is done with the northern end of the Smokies, and his last video he posted, it looked really tough, and that kind of gives you an idea of what Quicksand and Scooter and Smoking Joe and everybody was doing coming up from the south, and he was definitely Happy is definitely doing some post holing there, so that was some tough going. Kathy and Michael Murray, they have made it to Neil's Gap. Connor and Rainey, they are hiking with Blowtorch, and of course Rainey is Connor's dog, and they have picked up trail names. So Connor is now known as Pyro, and Rainey is known as Cujo, and they are all coming into Franklin now within the next day or so. Our calendar year triple crowners, Woody and Buzz, they are somewhere in the Shanties. Should be finishing those up in the next couple days. And Horsepower, he is somewhere around the Triple Crown area, and he has been doing 30 to 40 miles a day through the wet weather, although the wet weather and the snow has slowed him down a little bit. So that's some huge miles on his trip, and this is a no-bow trip. And unfortunately, because of the weather and because the fog, he was not able to get the good views there through the Triple Crown of Virginia, which of course is Dragon's Tooth, McAfee Knob, and Tinker's Cliff area. And Farrell, he is our Bobo hiker, so he is both ways bound. So he is using two cars and shuttling the cars north and then hiking Sobo back to the other car. So he is shuttled back to the car back to the Knock and has started his Sobo back to the Westerwald and Werebald area. And if you've ever been in those areas before, you know that is a heck of a climb out of the Knock going up to Westerwald. So good luck to him on that. Had a few that got off trail, maybe permanently, maybe just temporarily. Don't know, but Tramp Stamp, he got hurt after he left Hawk Mountain Shelter. There was some ice there, and of course this time of year there's going to be some ice, but maybe not enough to have microspikes. And it's been muddy and slick out there, and he slipped and pulled a muscle, and he had to go home, could not continue on, and he's going to go home and rehab that. Hopefully get back out sometime in April. Subman, Suds, and 2Ps, they are our RVers, and they were off trail for a few days, and they are getting back on right there at the door to the Smokies, so they should be doing the Smokies as well coming up this coming week. And Kathy Drigger, she finally got back to me, and she is getting back off to March, and then she's just going to start her hike all over again. So we got a lot of starts coming up this coming week. I'm going to go real fast through this. Don't worry, there will not be a test at the end of this, and you can just rewind it if you want to go back and get the names, but there's so many that I've got to go through it quickly. So we got Cryptic, Crypto, Thinker, Deadman, Deadeye, Inworth, Desiree Grace Bankos, William Bankos, Fish Trooper, Matthew A. Miller, Michelle, Gatewoods Ghost, Flamingo, Trainwreck, Christina, Patches, Susan Camper, Timberwolf, Slow Mo, and Timberwolves with Teresa McDonald, Spotter, Two Forks, Traveling Beat, Mike Yates, JD, Lynn Gert, and Soa. So those are the folks we've got off our list that are starting this upcoming week. Some of them are actually starting today. And we've got around 323 people on the hiker support list. So if you're interested on being on that, where people can go to your social media and find you and cheer you on your track as you go to Katahdin or you go to Springer or anywhere in between, then just go down there, down below. There'll be a link to a form where you can fill that out and automatically populate yourself to that list. If you need to make any changes, let me know. I'll have to change that for you. So we've got 323 people registered on the My Hiker support list. What about the ATC's list? So NOBO, last week we had 2,381. This week we got 2,431 NOBO. Last week on Flip Floppers we had 122, and this week we got 132. And last week Sobo we had 110, and this week we got 113. So total is 2,613 from last week, and this week we got a total of 2,676, which is up 63 hikers. And that's up 546 hikers from this time last year. This time last year we had 2,130. So we have dropped off our curve a little more on our increase. We were somewhere around 30 to 42% increase over last year. And that increase right there is around 26%. So that's dropped off just a little bit. So we got some news on the trail. Well, Hawk Mains, he is coming back for his 6-peat. So he'll be starting sometime the first week in March. So if you've been watching my channel or you've watched any Appalachian Trail channel for more than a week to 10 days, you know who Hawk is. So go check him out and let's let him cheer him on. And then another hiker that is repeating a hike, and that is, or was supposed to repeat a hike, and that is Underdog. So I'm not going to steal Underdog's thunder. He'll be coming out with a video in a day or so. I was really looking forward to Underdog this year, and so I'm just not going to say any more than that. Underdog will let you know what's going on with his hike. So so Underdog, look forward to that, to seeing what you got to say about that. Okay, so the ATC has opened registrations to where you can now register on days that it is showing as being maxed out. So you'll recall in an earlier video that I indicated the ATC had a change and they were letting you register for days even though they were maxed out. And then they stopped allowing people to register on days that were maxed out. We indicated that was giving them bad data, and we didn't see the purpose behind that. And the following week they came out with the news that they would be turning that back on, and you could register for days that had been maxed out. So they have done that. I saw that in their blog this week. They have done that, and I have not had an opportunity to go and see and make sure that that is working. If it is, I will post what it looks like here to show you what it looks like once you register. Before, what you were getting was a message that it would not let you register, and it would give you, it would just tell you that there was too many people that day, or too many people for the number in your party. So I don't know if that's changed or not. I'll post this right up here if it has. Owlcat wanted me to remind everybody, and Owlcat is a 2020 THru HIker alumni, and she wanted me to remind everybody that this is the last week or the last few days where you can send your photos to Odie, who is puts together the hiker yearbook each year. So 2020 hikers, that deadline is February 15th. You'll go to his website and give him your picture so you can be included in that yearbook. That is at the hikeryearbook.com. And Not So Much told me that the Smokies permit, you cannot use the computer at the knock to get your Smokies permit. So used to be the knock would allow you to utilize their computer, print out and obtain and print out your Smokies permit. That is not the case anymore. They, because of COVID, and I have called up there and verified this, they are not letting you use their computer. They will, however, if you have a smartphone, you can get your Smokies permit on your smartphone, and then then the Smokies will send you a PDF of your permit, and then the knock, you can email that to the knock while you're standing there, and they'll print that out for you. Your other alternative is to get it before you ever get there, maybe in Franklin at a hostel, or if you're going to be staying over at Fontana at the hotel over there at the lodge, then you can probably still get it done over there. But as long as you've got a digital copy of it, then you can go ahead and they will print that out. Now, I'm pretty certain that you're supposed to have a printed copy in the Smokies when you go there. So there have been people that have gone through with just a digital copy on their phone. I don't know that that is acceptable. They would probably get you through in a pinch, but if your phone's not working, or you can't call it up, or it's dead, the batteries are dead, what have you, now you're in trouble. You can't show you got that permit. So I would advise you to go ahead and get it printed out at the knock. You're going to stop there and get you a cheeseburger and a beer at the hotel, at the restaurant right there anyway. So you might as well just go ahead and get your permit printed out while you're there. So Fresh Ground, the Trail Angel, he started today on February 14th and started at Gooch Gap, and the Blazing Bakers were his first customers, and he is already feeding people at Gooch Gap that are coming through there. So we love to see Fresh Ground out there. That means that folks that run into him, they're going to get some great trail magic. And Fresh Ground has a fundraiser that he does every year to fund his trail magic, and this is what he does. So for 9 months, he'll be doing the whole trail. He'll go north and then he'll come back south, feeding people all along the way. So if you want to give to that, then you can go to down below. I have a link. You can go to his Facebook page, and he's got various ways that you can contribute to that. And then we also add another Trail Angel to our Trail Angel list of folks that can help you, give you a shuttle if you get in a pinch, or you need a resupply. They can come help you resupply, or just what have you. These are folks that do it for free. They don't charge for this service. And so we appreciate Donnie Duck, that's his trail name, getting on there. If you're a THru hiker and you want a copy of that list, please let me know, and I will be glad to send that to you after I've verified you are a THru hiker. There's some folks on there that wish to be private, and so we're going to make sure that we keep them private, and it's only given out to verifiable THru hikers. I do have down below also at the end of this, there is a list of public trail angels that are okay with having their name out there publicly. And then hiker tags. So as you know, and what we've reported before, the ATC is not giving hiker tags, so that created a cottage industry, and people are now creating hiker tags, and they are, of course, selling those. They're not giving those away like the ATC did. This right here came from Ralph Phillips with 3D Custom Creations. So these are printed on a 3D printer. They're very lightweight, but to me, it looks exactly like it. I appreciate him sending that to me. That's really neat memorabilia to have. But he also sent me 2 more. And these I'm going to be giving away for some folks. So you can see he actually makes these in 3 different sizes. He can make them in pretty much any color combination you want. So, but I'm going to be giving those away. So if you'll leave a comment down below, I'd like for you to be a THru hiker, somebody on the list, because these are for the THru hikers to take the place of what the ATC took away from them this year. So if you're a THru hiker, leave a comment and just put bag tag at the end of your comment, and I will enter you into that drawing. And there'll be 2 of them that I'll be giving away for that. So pretty awesome. I appreciate that, Ralph, and I'll leave a link down to Ralph's. I believe he has an Etsy site down there, but I'll leave a link down there to that, so that if you want to purchase you a bag tag, he does have a special right now, a 3 for 2 special. So you buy 2, you get 1 free, and he'll send those to you. He also says he's putting together a trophy for the end of the year. He's going to print out a 3D trophy, and whoever makes it that purchases a tag from him will get that trophy. He did not say what would happen if multiple people finished it that did that. So I think he's sold several hundred of these tags. So I don't know if he's going to be able to print out several hundred trophies, but anyway, we'll take care of that whenever we get to it. And then the ATC, I have found out that I went online and saw a post on the ATC website. So we had reported a couple months ago that the office there at Harpers Ferry is going to be closed, or had closed until February. So people that were SOBO were not going to be able to check in there and get their Polaroid shot, which has been a tradition for years. So we had another tradition taken away from them in addition to the bag tags and all the other traditions. So they had closed. You couldn't go inside. I don't even know if anybody was there. When Come Along and I came through there on our hike in the fall from Pennsylvania to Virginia, the place was closed up, tight as Dick's hat band, and there was nobody there at all. No cars parked in the parking lot. So we had to take our own picture. But no Polaroids last year. Once they shut everything down, they said they're going to be open in February. Well, I went back to the post, and the post happened a few weeks ago, and they are still going to be remaining closed. So once again, unless things change, you're not going to be able to get your traditional Polaroid shot that they keep in archive there. And I don't know if they give you a copy or not. If you're a thru hiker and you do get a copy, and you know that in years past, uh, certainly not in 2020, but in 2019 before, leave a comment down below. But in any case, a lot of people at least take a picture of their Polaroid with their camera, but they keep that and they archive that. And so it's just pretty neat, little posterity there that you can go through, bring your kids through, years from now when you stop by the ATC and see your Polaroid there. But not happening in 2020. Don't look like it's happening in 2021. I don't quite understand why they can't take that $19.5 million that they received from the Mountain Valley pipeline and take a little bit of that money, a tiny amount of that money, and figure out a way to where they could be open there for this hiker season for people to come do Polaroids. I mean, the Amicalola Falls State Park Visitor Center is open, so they're letting people come in and sign the register. I just don't understand why the ATC can't do likewise as well. Leave a comment down in the comment section if you don't understand that either. And more importantly, why don't you go to their Instagram account and their Facebook account and their Twitter account? Leave a comment there. Do it peacefully. Do not storm the ATC, okay? Be peaceful about it. Be kind about it, but just let them know your thoughts. We know that from the past where this channel has put out information, and then the ATC has come back and put out additional information on top of that was we've linked that to that, so we think they're watching, we think they're listening to us. So I would encourage you to go and do that. There is strength in numbers. Maybe we can affect some change, maybe not, but at least we can let how we feel known to them. Folks, that's all I got this week. As always, appreciate you, and we'll see you out there.